Stop.
Oh. Oh, it's carried away.
Well, I was a bit scared having no pedals.
Oh.
Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today, as always, I have another learner driver that I haven't met before, and she's here for me to assess her driving and just want to find out whether she's ready for the driving test or not, which we'll find out very soon. And as you can notice, we're in a different car. So the learner driver, whose name is Miguel, learns in an automatic car, and obviously I have a manual car, but she said she's got her own car which she's happy to do the mock test in today, which I agreed to, which is always a little bit scary because obviously I've got no pedals here on my side, which I normally use to stop the car. So hopefully you're not a dangerous driver.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so could you tell us a bit about your driving, please?
Okay, so I got experience back home. I do drive.
Okay, so when you say back home, on an international license.
International license.
Okay, so you've been driving here in the UK on an international license.
Yeah.
Is that international license still valid, or has it expired?
No, it expired December last year.
So for those of you wondering, international licenses are normally valid for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah. Okay. And have you taken any lessons?
Yeah, I'm taking lessons.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. And how do you feel? Do you feel ready for the test yet, or do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say if I'm ready. Okay, but I feel I just have a little lapses. Okay, that's when it comes to roundabouts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so and as well as looking at the road signs.
Okay,
yeah, I struggle with that a little bit, but I'm actually working on it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be testing that out today. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get started, any of you that are learning to drive, please check out my driving course, which I recommend to all learning drivers. Here's a very short ad about what it's about.
Hooray! So this course really filled my knowledge gaps, and I became more confident.
38 easy to understand, precise videos covering every single topic required to pass the driving test. These are not just theory based, they are practical videos demonstrating everything from moving off and stopping a vehicle to all of the maneuvers and every other module required. So if you're lacking knowledge, or maybe your instructor has forgotten to cover something, or you're just not grasping a certain topic, then this course has it covered. You can watch the videos before your driving lessons, which means you'll get into the car knowing exactly what to do. This will definitely save you time on your lessons. Okay, Miguel, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know how it works. If you do make a fault, I won't say anything, until the end. Okay? But for the people that are watching, I will talk about the faults just before they happen, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
And could you tell anybody how you got in touch with me for this mock test?
So while I was doing my my training, I was also watching some YouTube videos, and I bumped into your videos. I was just watching your videos like regularly because it's really helping. So I thought to reach out.
Yeah, and how did you reach out?
I reached out on Instagram.
That's
I DM'd you on Instagram.
That's it. That's all you need to do, guys. DM at DJ and Driving on Instagram. We just select learners randomly. Yeah. Okay. So. Miguel, whenever you're ready, if you could move off for me, please.
All right.
As you can see, due to the weather, our screen is misted up. Always make sure you demist the screen and the windows so you can see clearly before moving off. If you try to move off with a screen like this, the examiner would stop you and this would be marked as a serious fault. Okay, so I think it's a dead end down there, isn't it? Yeah. So if you could just turn the car around for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do a. This used to be a maneuver in the old driving test called turning the road. Yeah, or the 3-point turn. So if you could, let's see how you carry that out.
All right.
Obviously, it's not a part of the test anymore.
Nah, that's fine.
At no point during the test should you drive over the pavement. Miguel drives over the pavement when turning the car around. I haven't marked this as a serious fault as we were just starting off, and I've asked her to do something that wouldn't be asked on the driving test.
When moving off in traffic, you should check both side mirrors to look out for cyclists. In general, her mirror checks were good, apart from these ones. Now this is her first serious fault. She didn't notice the lights were red. I think she may have been concentrating on the signs I asked her to follow. Luckily she reacted to my instructions, as obviously there were no pedals on my side.
Follow signs to Kidderminster, please.
To Kidderminster.
Yeah. Stop, stop, stop.
Oh,
Stop, stop, stop.
oh. Oh, I was carried away.
Trying to worry about that too much now, yeah? Okay, focus on the rest of your test.
Okay.
This is quite a challenging roundabout because of the spiral markings. Miguel deals with the roundabout well and shows good lane discipline. She decides to exit onto the right hand lane, which is fine, but should have moved to the left lane sooner than she did, as it was safe to do so.
And at this roundabout, if you could turn right and take the second exit.
When you have a choice of two lanes, you should always select the right hand lane for turning right at a roundabout. She selects the left lane.
Right.
Yeah, second exit to the right. Turning right, second exit.
I'm going to ask her to turn right at the lights. She does turn right, but signals left on approach. Luckily for her, when she signaled left, there was no one behind that we affected. While we were waiting for the lights to turn green, Miguel realised what she had done. If she hadn't have realised before moving off, then I would have told her, and this would have been marked as a serious driving fault.
But the traffic lights turn right, please.
Right.
Yeah.
The road markings are difficult to see with the rain.
Yep.
Oh my god. Wow.
She positions well when waiting for the oncoming traffic. Not too far forward and not too far back.
I was signaling left instead of right.
Throughout the test, her distance when passing parked vehicles was good, but on this occasion she got too close. That's all it takes to fail a driving test. A serious fault for adequate clearance.
Steer away. And if you could park up anywhere safe on the left.
When parking up here, she picks up 3 minor faults. She signalled before a junction, hit the curb, and then switched on the hazard warning lights. This is not what they're supposed to be used for. We do talk about this during the feedback at the end of the test. After she hits a curb, you'll notice me smile. The reason for this was I remembered that it wasn't my car for once that was being damaged.
Okay, and move off when you're ready.
She moves off with good observations, checking the right blind spot well. Miguel was a bit disappointed about forgetting to signal when moving off, but it wasn't really required as there was no one around.
My signal wasn't turned on.
Don't worry.
Oh wow.
Now if you could follow signs to Walsall for me, please.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Again, at this roundabout, she shows good lane discipline. On this carriageway, the speed limit is 50 miles per hour. She's driving at 30 miles per hour for quite a distance. She did pick up a speed towards the end, otherwise I would have marked it as a serious fault. On your driving test, if the examiner leans over, like I am doing, it means they are checking your speed. You're either too fast or too slow.
And now if you could follow signs to Cosley, please.
Cosley.
Yeah.
She makes another serious fault at this roundabout.
It's not clear. Cosley Road, Wolverhampton. Cosley. 1, 2, 3. All of them. I didn't see that on time. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
She did everything else at this roundabout well, but when she got to these lights, which weren't active and are there for the fire station, she started to brake and slow down. There was no need to. This did affect the van driver next to us, who I've got to say was very good and held back for us.
I think I was on the wrong lane there.
And if you could park up on the left, please.
When I ask her to park up here, she gets mixed up with her left and right. And because of this, she slows down without checking any mirrors or signalling. You should never slow down like this without knowing what's behind you.
Left. Is there any need for that? Yeah,
Any need for what?
putting on my double trafficator.
Okay, so you know when you do your lessons, yeah, with your instructor, What do the so when your instructor asked you to park up, I was taught you how to park up. Yeah. Do they ask you to put the hazard warning lights on?
Yeah, not that's if we're in a dual carriageway. Like if we're
So
in
should you stop on a dual
if we're in-
carriageway?
If we're in a no, if we're in a busy road. Okay, for example, he asked me to pull up close to the test center. That road, it's a really narrow road, and I had to put this on.
He asked you to
Yeah.
put those on.
But this is like in a street. We've not
So
packed up in a street.
what are the hazard warning lights for?
To show that you're packed, you're neither going right nor left, like you're
They're there to warn others of a hazard. Yeah.
okay.
Or is there any hazard ahead?
No.
No. We're not causing any hazard to anyone either. Yeah. So you only do that. Use those to warn others of say if there's an accident ahead or a traffic building up, like a bad situation.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need them on. Switch them off.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So now we're going to finish off with the reverse parallel parking maneuver.
About that.
Okay. So we're going to use that car. So you pull up next to the car, park fairly close to the pavement, and when you finish, don't worry about blocking the driveway. You can leave about one car space from the front of that car and the front of our car. You don't have to be really close to that car. Okay.
Okay. So, could you say that again, please?
So the reverse parking maneuver, you're going to pull up next to that car. Yeah.
At the side of the car.
At the side of the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're going to reverse and finish nice and close to the pavement, like you are now here.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you finish up, some people think that you have to be very close to that car in front.
Okay.
No,
but
you can
I
leave
don't
about
have to be.
no, you can leave about a car space. Okay.
Okay.
And don't worry about blocking the driveway.
She forgets to check the right blind spot before moving off. Sorry guys, for some reason the back camera stopped working at this point. She starts the maneuver with good all-round observations before reversing, and even checks the right blind spot before our vehicle swings out. Now there is a vehicle approaching from behind, and because we were positioned far away from the pavement, she should have stopped for that vehicle, but doesn't.
Got a space there. I'm not packed to the close to the curb.
She's trying to get closer to the curb, and in doing so comes too far back. Like I told her at the start, you're allowed a car space from the vehicle you're using, but she comes back too much.
Okay.
That's the end of the test. I've got to say she took the feedback really well and understood her mistakes.
That's the end of the test.
Oh,
How do you think you did?
I made a lot of errors.
Okay, a lot of errors. So, do you know what the serious faults were?
Yeah, I think at that roundabout, I was not on my lane.
Which one?
The roundabout, I had to take the third exit at Cosley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the wrong lane.
No. So you saw the sign a little bit later, and it was right there to exit. Yeah. And you approached in the right-hand lane, and then So you showed me at the other roundabout. As soon as you get to the second exit, what are you supposed to do? So
I
you
was
didn't
supposed to
move over.
move
Yeah.
over.
Good.
Oh,
What you started to do, the mistake that you made there was, you know, when you saw the solid white line on the floor,
yeah.
you started to brake. Yeah, on the roundabout.
You mean not pushing the roundabout? Oh, on the roundabout.
On the roundabout. So you know when you're on the roundabout,
Yeah.
there's a van there on our left,
Yeah,
yeah,
on
which
our
you
left.
notice obviously, yeah, okay. But then you signaled at the correct time. There was a solid white line there,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you know what that was for?
No.
Yeah, that's for there were these lights on the side that weren't on. Yeah, they only
Yeah.
come on when the fire station when there's a emergency for the fire station. Yeah, so you didn't need to slow down there. There weren't traffic lights.
No
Okay,
traffic
you know,
lights.
you started braking.
Yeah.
Do you understand why that was a serious fault there?
Oh.
Okay, and because of that, luckily the van driver could see what's happening and he slowed down for us, so we did affect him as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was no one directly behind us, but yeah, that was a serious fault just for the braking there. Okay, so apart from that, it was okay. Your roundabouts, your big roundabouts that you did, were pretty good. It's like the main thing is when you're moving over, you're checking, yeah, you're counting the exits as well. Okay, so
Okay.
your roundabouts weren't that bad, but you did make a fault on one of the smaller roundabouts. I asked you to turn right, second exit. Yeah, there were 2 lanes.
Yeah.
And which lane were you supposed to use?
The right lane?
Yeah, you used the left-hand lane. This was near the start after we did the first couple of big roundabouts, which you did okay. Then you came to the small roundabout and you messed up.
I remember that roundabout.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not as if you don't know it, because after that we did a couple of similar roundabouts and you did them fine. So it's not that you need lessons on there.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you keep that focus.
Yeah.
Okay, like you said, you told me your weaknesses at the start. Like you said, roundabouts was one of your weaknesses. I
Yeah.
don't think you need lots of practice. Okay, they're not bad at all. And you said looking out for signs.
Signs,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. So I remember the red lights when I had to ask you to stop.
Yeah, I was focused on the signs and I forgot about the
So
lights.
you know what you need. You know in your lesson, your next couple of lessons with your instructor. Yeah, if I was teaching you now, I would have a lesson where we're driving on these same kind of big, busy roundabouts, dual carriageways, and the whole lesson would be, I'd say to you, every sign you see, yeah, could be a direction sign, could be a warning sign, any sign you see, I want you to tell me that here's a sign, here's a 30 sign, here's a sign telling me to slow down, here's a another speed limit sign, here's a sign to Warsaw, or here's a direction sign.
Yeah.
Or listen. Yeah, that's all you need to keep doing. Out loud, say it out loud. Okay, and if you miss a sign, then your instructor says to you, look, you missed a sign there. Okay,
That's gonna help me
Yeah.
keep focus on the road while I still see
yeah,
the
yeah,
signs.
yeah. Because your attention goes to the signs because you're not that confident on there, and then you miss other stuff. Like the
Yeah.
red lights. You wouldn't normally miss red lights, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that
I haven't really worked on my parking yet,
Yeah, so-
especially my reverse parallel parking.
the whole point of this mock test was to find out what you need to work on.
Yeah.
Do you know what you need to work on now?
I do.
Good. Yeah, your overall driving. Your test is when?
5th of June.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
That's more than enough time. Yeah, you're easily going to be ready for your test. Yeah, you've got a very good foundation. It's like the stuff that you've been doing. You made the faults on. You've showed me already that you know how to do it. You just have a bit of concentration and being used to following the signs and everything. Yeah, doing everything together now. Okay, you're going to be fine for your test. Obviously, work on these maneuvers as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you very much for doing the mock test. Well, I was a bit scared having no pedals.
Oh, really?
And the red lights, especially when that happened, because obviously,
Yeah.
luckily you listened to me straight away. Okay, otherwise sometimes I do say to learners stop, but they don't stop. Then obviously I've got no other way
Yeah,
to
to stop the car.
Okay, but you did well after that. I felt safe.
I'm sorry, I had to make you feel unsafe.
No worries, no worries. Right then, guys. Like always, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.